Good morning to all my friends and family, and welcome to this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I'm down here at Cockle Bay, and the Sydney Boat Show has finished, and all of these boats that are moored here over the next couple of days will disappear for another year. And it's been quite spectacular. The weather has been great, and I think from an attendance perspective, it's been an outright success. Just goes to show how this little area of water can be transformed with a few pontoons and a number of boats. So next week this will be just completely vacant. Anyway, it's Monday morning, the beginning of another work week, and I've got a book summary to share with my friends and family, and it's an old classic. It's a book entitled The Tale of Two Cities, written by Charles Dickens back in 1859, and it's got a number of interesting themes that we can talk about and examine, and we'll do a walk and talk like I normally do. I'll just get to the bottom of these stairs so I don't injure myself, and just start going through what this book is all about. So as we said, this book is a classic, an absolute classic, written by an author, a world famous author, back in 1859, and it's a book that has been read by a lot of people over the years, and it's suggested here that it may have sold well in excess of 200 million copies. 200 million copies, like that's a lot of book material, and it would be in quite a few people's libraries, no doubt. And the book summary kicks off with a quote, just to allow us to reflect for a moment and think about life and see where this can lead us. The book kicks off with a quote which suggests that a wonderful fact to reflect upon is that every human creature is constituted to be that profound secret and mystery to every other. Now, I guess we need to understand, appreciate, and embrace that each and every person is different. We're different from each other, and most importantly, one of the greatest lessons we'll ever learn is that not only are we different from each other, but we are different for each other. We are made different to complement, to supplement each other. And it's only when we understand and appreciate that we can really make a difference in our lives. So this book is all about love, loss, inequality, justice, and morals. And it touches on the sorts of themes that impact most of us in our lifetimes. And it's an opportunity to, as we said before, to reflect on our humanity and our lives, and see what we can learn and what we can leverage from the lessons that come from this author. So the first key point that is put forth, that is worth mulling over just for a few moments, is that it's never too late. This is a really important point, and something that we all need to keep on reminding ourselves on. It's never too late to be reborn. It's never too late to change ourselves and make something of our lives. Because at the end of the day, we all have a purpose. Every single person that is ever born and walks this earth has a purpose and a calling. And it's unique to that person. The purpose that I have is different to the purpose that my wife has, my parents have, my uncles, my aunts, and everybody else has. Now, we all have unique skills, we all have unique gifts, we all have unique experiences that we accumulate over the years in our lives, and all of those differences, when they're mixed and matched together, are there to make you special, to make you unique, to make you different, and to make you useful. It's important to understand that it doesn't matter who you are and what your skills are, that you are useful in this world to someone, to a group of people, to your family. You just need to apply those gifts, to use those gifts, and not to turn your back on those gifts and think that you're not all that special, because as Charles Dickens affirms in this novel, that we all are special, we all are important, and we all are needed in our lives. And our calling or callings need to be addressed, because if somebody does not live, does not express their calling, then they're letting themselves down and they're letting others down as well, because you're going to live a life which is unfulfilled, and the last thing you want to do is to reach 70 and to look back over your life with massive regret, saying you could have done this, you could have done that, but you didn't do it for whatever reason. So the key theme in this book is being recalled to life. And it's important, once again, to also note and to appreciate that all people over time, sooner or later, we lose our way, we get caught up in the humdrum of life, and before you know it, a month passes, a year passes, a decade passes, and then you realise that you're not really fulfilling or living the life, the authentic life that you know you can live, and you're recalled. You can change in a heartbeat, and you recall yourself to doing the things that you're best prepared to do in your life, and to express yourself in a way which is natural to you. So being lost is okay. Everybody gets lost at some point in time. We just get overwhelmed. We just get manipulated. We just do things for the sake of doing things. We just tick the boxes just for the sake of ticking the boxes. And it's okay, because it happens to everybody. But we need to break free at some point and to refine our path, just like the prodigal son did in the scriptures. We all are an expression of the prodigal son, knowing very well that when we come back into the fold, that we will be welcomed, and it's never too late to change and to accept that you've been doing the wrong thing, because life is full of distractions, and we need to free ourselves from our ego. If we spend too much time in our lives just trying to fuel, just trying to fulfill our own selfish desires, what will happen, or what will tend to happen, is that we'll end up separating ourselves from God, separating ourselves from our loved ones, and just spending all of our time trying to achieve pleasures upon pleasures, which sooner or later turn into misery. That's guaranteed. My spiritual father always reminds me that if you spend your time selfishly just trying to chase your own goals, sooner or later you're going to wake up and you're going to hate yourself, because life is all about sacrifice, and we need to embrace, we need to receive the spirit of sacrifice, of giving up of ourselves for others, giving up of ourselves to serve others, to serve God with all our heart, mind and soul, and to love our neighbour, to love each other just like we love ourselves. And to also understand that being a servant is not something which is negative. It's not being a slave, but being of use, of purpose to those around us. And to understand also that our past life, even if we've lost our way, as we alluded to earlier, even if somebody loses their way, loses their path, it's never too late to find your way. And your past is the past. You know, you'll never live your past ever again unless you choose to live it day by day by reminding yourself of what's happened in the past. We've got to let go of the past. We've got to move on, move forward is one of the key themes here. And your past does not define who you are, does not define your future. What defines your future is what you do, what you think in the present. So it's what you're doing right now which is going to determine where you are tomorrow, where you are next week. So we need to make sure that our habits, our actions are all aligned, clearly aligned with our goals, and doing the right thing, doing things which are God pleasing, as opposed to doing the things which are just pleasing to ourselves. So the bottom line also is that we all live slithers of reality, and the reality that I'm living right now are different to the slithers of reality that you'll be living. We've all lived a different past. We're all going to live a different now. I am here, you're somewhere else, and we're all going to experience and end up with a different future based on the actions that we do along the way, and of course the actions that other people do. But we can also modify and change our thoughts, our actions, and redirect ourselves and not be slaves to what may have happened in the past. So we can change in a heartbeat. We can change in a positive way in a heartbeat, but we can also change in a negative way. So just the word change is not enough. What we need to do is replace that word change with a word called improvement. We've got to try and improve ourselves day by day, moment by moment. And we need to demand better, lift our standards so that we can live a better now and a better future. And by us living a better now and a better future means that chances are that other people around us are also going to experience the fruits and the seeds that we sow along the way. The other theme that comes from this book, from Charles Dickens, is that everything in life resembles something else. There are parallels in life that we can use as stepping stones to learn from and leverage if we are looking for them. So you need to be looking for the right things in the right place, else you may end up in the wrong place. So everything in life resembles something else, according to Charles Dickens, and we need to look for things. And the other important point that he makes is that there is nothing new under the sun. Everything, every experience, every thought that we have is not all that original. Somebody else has thought about it, somebody else has pondered it, somebody else has experienced the pain, the suffering, the joys that come with life. So nothing is original, and everything in life, according to Charles Dickens as well, comes in pairs. You know, you've got happiness, you've got sadness, you've got light, you've got darkness, you've got black, you've got white. You know, everything comes in dualities, and we need to make choices along the way because those choices will influence where we end up and how we experience our present. So once again, this whole concept here of duality and things coming in pairs and things happening in parallel, and the choices that we make will end us up in different destinies. And life has seasons. You know, we've got the springtime, we've got the winter, autumn and summer, and all of those things, all of those times of our lives will mean different things to different people. But we need to prepare for these different times of our life, and to understand that it doesn't matter what happens, because someone else has been in the same position as you, and you can learn from them. And it's important to keep on moving forward and to understand that there's always more than one solution to every problem, and we'll end up figuring it out along the way. So don't wait for perfection. Don't wait until everything is there, ready for you. Just commence whenever you can. Start your journey as soon as you can, and you'll figure it out along the way. And to understand that history never repeats itself exactly, but it sure has a lot of themes. It sure has a lot of rhymes, according to Charles Dickens. So the third and final message that comes from this book, The Tale of Two Cities, is where Charles Dickens focuses on the importance of sacrifice, sacrificing for others, because it's through sacrifice, according to this book, that we generate happiness and fulfillment. And the best way to find meaning in life is through personal sacrifice. But of course, you need to be sacrificing for the right people, for the right reasons. Now, it's very, very important to make sure that you're not sacrificing for the wrong reasons to the wrong people. Now, that's the biggest lesson, I guess, that comes from this book. Now, you can sacrifice for Jesus, for God, or you can sacrifice for the devil, for Satan. It's up to you to determine who you're sacrificing for, and if it's for the right people and for the right reasons. And the bottom line is that Jesus is our example of how sacrifice is love. Love is the giving up of yourself for other people. Just like Jesus gave himself up for the world, we need to also give ourselves up to our families, to our partners, to our work, you name it. And as I said before, everybody's sacrifice is unique. Everybody's sacrifice is different. And it's up to each person to try and figure out how best they sacrifice themselves to make the best and greatest impact in the world. And the last call to action from Charles Dickens in this book is that we need to do a little good every day. And it's a great way to do a lot of good for yourself is the key message. So do a little good every day, and by doing a little good every day, what you're doing is you're generating a lot of good for yourself over your lifetime. So in summary, sacrifice will give you meaning, but you need to be sacrificing for the right people, for the right reason. It's never too late to change. Just because life hasn't done or life hasn't achieved the right things for you up at this point in time, we need to understand that every single person has their fate. And just because it didn't work before doesn't mean it's not going to work tomorrow. It's not going to work next week. It's not going to work next time you try it. Each person has their fate, and sooner or later it will be your turn, but you need to be in it to win it. You've got to keep on trying, otherwise you're never going to have a chance of achieving the dreams, the goals that you have for you and your family and for everybody else, for your community, because if you give up too early, then you basically don't give yourself a chance of ever achieving what you desire and what you need in your life. And to understand that everything in life also has parallels. It's happened for somebody else. Everybody, as we said, has their own fate, and it's God's will in terms of what we're going to achieve in our lives. But I'm sure that God wants us to keep on trying, as long as what we're doing is God pleasing, as long as what we're doing is serving God, and we're showing that we're loving God with our heart, mind and soul, and that we're also mindful and caring for our neighbours and treat them and love them as we love ourselves. So once again, thank you very much for joining me on this episode of Jim's 5am Club. I see Roman over there heading off to work. I wish everybody a happy Monday, a great start to the work week, and I'm sure that on my next 2 or 3 vlogs, all of these magnificent boats, these well-maintained, expensive boats, will leave either to go to a new owner or back to the sales yards, and until next year. But as you can see, Sydney is a happening place. We're currently hosting the World Cup of Soccer for women. The US got knocked out last night by Sweden, and the Netherlands knocked out South Africa. Today, the Matildas play Denmark here in Sydney to see who makes it through to the quarterfinals. It's going to be a big match today as well, and we'll see how we go. I really think that the Matildas do have a chance now that they've got out of the group stages, and hopefully Sam Kerr will be there, back in the team, to buoy them, to give them hope, and to hopefully score a few goals as well. Take care, everybody. Have a great rest of the week, and thank you for joining me on this magnificent journey that I've embarked upon, called Jim's 5am Club, where I've done over 1,550 vlogs, videos, and my YouTube channel, Jim's 5am Club, is one of the biggest in the world in terms of material, in terms of videos on self-help, on books, book summaries, and it's something that I'm very proud of, and something that I really love, and I will continue to do for as long as I can, even though I don't have a significant number of followers. It doesn't matter. I'm doing it because I enjoy it. I do it because I learn, and I do it because I can pass on that knowledge, pass on as a gift to other people what I've learnt, because what I do is I take the book summaries and I supplement them and I complement them with knowledge that I have accumulated in my own life, but also knowledge that I've accumulated by doing other books and learning from other authors and accumulating OPE, other people's experiences. So there you go. Take care, everybody. Yassas, and bye for now.